Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can already tell, today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me video. So this get ready with me is going to be more of a full coverage, clubbing, night out kind of makeup look. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So obviously before any night out or event, I'll obviously put on a layer of tan, which you can see I've definitely done. The tan I used was the Bondi Sands Express Mousse, and this is actually a generous one layer of it. It's my current favorite fake tan at the moment. Amazing. The color is just so olive. I love it. And also, no matter how well my developing tan applies or shows up the next day, I always use instant tan. You guys know this if you've watched my videos before. And recently I've been using the new Bondi Sands Glow Instant Tan range. So these are the products here. There's 3 different finishes. There is a matte finish tan, which has the most coverage and definitely more of an olive undertone to the tan. There's also a shimmer finish, which adds a bit of a glow to the skin. This one's a bit of a deeper tan color as well. And lastly, there is a gloss finish. So this one has the least amount of coverage to the skin, but it adds the most amount of sheen and luminosity, and it really makes your skin look super healthy and glowy. I actually think the gloss one would look fab on top of natural tan as well. Obviously you can put it on top of fake tan, but on top of natural tan, if you're not into like false tanners, this would still be fab. So these here, like I said, are instant tan. So you put them on whenever you want them to show up, and you take them off in the shower whenever you want them to come off. So there's less commitment compared to a developing tan like the one I applied last night. So if you're not into developing tans, you can try out one of these and then you can just wash them off. So it's not as scary. If you make a mistake, you can just wipe it off and start again. So these are now available nationwide in Ireland, and in the UK they're sold exclusively in Superdrug. Also, before I forget, you can actually mix these in with your foundation, which I've mentioned before on my Instagram TV. So say this gloss one here, if you have a matte finish foundation and you want to change the finish of it instead of buying a whole new foundation, you can actually mix a bit of this in with any foundation you have, and it's going to add more of a gloss kind of glow finish to it. Also, a really good tip is if you mix these in with your foundation, they will darken them a bit. So if you do fake tan, these will help match your foundation up to the rest of your tan on your body. So my personal favorite, and this is actually my 3rd bottle of it now, is the matte finish, and that is what I have on all of my chest and my arms. Like I said, no matter if I have a perfect developed tan the next day, I always go in with an instant tan, especially on my chest, because I find that no matter what tan I use, it never goes as dark on my chest compared to my arms. So this will just help match everything up. But anyway, that is my tan situation that I have on now, and it's super dark. I'm very happy right now. I do have a little bit on my face, not a lot though, hence why it's a little bit tanned, but I'm still kind of ghostly on my face. So let's change that now. So jumping into the makeup, the first thing I'm going to use to prime my skin, because I'm going to be using a full coverage matte finish foundation, I'm going to use the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I'm not really that sold on this yet. I'm not really sure. I just feel like it leaves my face very greasy looking. I'm still giving it a go. I haven't used that much of it yet. So before I make my final decision on it, I want to try it a few more times, because I was the idiot who bought 2 products before I even tried it. So I have a brand new one sitting in my drawers over there as well. So kind of want to make myself like it. But I use a little bit on my fingers, and then I concentrate this in the center of my face mostly. So next up for my foundation, I'm going to use the new NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I've used this once or twice, and so far I'm really impressed with it. I would say when you first put on the, oh, I have a little bit of primer on my eyelash. I'd say when you first put the first layer on, it's more of a medium coverage for me anyway, and then you can build up to a full coverage. I mean, I am a full coverage kind of girl, so to some people this will be really heavy with one layer, but that's just my thoughts on it. And the shade I'm using is Classic Tan number 12. So I'm gonna use 2 pumps of it, and then I'm using an AYU foundation brush to apply it on the rest of my face. If you can hear grunting and noises in the background, it's because Hank is sleeping beside me, and he does tend to snore and make weird grunting noises. So this is the first layer, so 2 pumps all over my face. And for me, obviously there's a decent amount of coverage there, but I still see kind of some blemishes and stuff coming through. So for me, I want a bit more coverage, and I'm gonna add 1 more pump, well, 1.5 more pumps, and build up to really full coverage. Okay, actually 1 more pump was definitely enough. So yeah, 3 pumps in total to get full coverage. Also, before I forget to mention about this foundation, it does last so well on the skin. So really impressed by this NYX. Well played. So moving on to concealer, I'm going to use the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer, and this one is in the shade 16 Honey. And applying these the areas that I always do. So under my eyes in an upside down triangle, on my eyelid as a primer, Same on the other side. And then the center of my nose and my forehead. And then the corner of my mouth like this, just a touch. And now that I look absolutely mental, I'm gonna blend all of that in with my damp beauty blender. So just bounce it all over, really, pretty simple. Okay, so next I like to set my concealer areas first, and for that I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking Setting Powder in the shade Banana Bread for my concealer areas. So just turn it upside down, give it a few taps, and when you open it, the product is in the lid, or in the base I should say. And then I take my damp beauty blender and dip into it like so. So I pop this in the areas that I applied concealer, like I said. Pretty simple, and I'm really generous with it because I'm gonna basically bake with this. So then using the same Huda Beauty powder, just in a different shade. This is in the shade Kunafa, and I'm gonna use this to set the rest of my face. So same thing as earlier. This is a deeper color and it's more of a yellow undertone, so it will keep my face darker and stop it from going like too ashy and stuff like that. So this is really good if you're wearing fake tan or if you're tanned. I like to use this on the perimeter of my face, so all the kind of outside areas, and I just use a large fluffy brush to apply it. That one's done. I'm not going to take a chance. So any large fluffy brush. And as I'm applying this, I kind of buff away any of the powder on my face bar the very center. So then after I've set all of my face basically with the powder, I'm just going to brush away the bit that's left in the center of my face. So don't leave it on for like 5 to 10 minutes. I leave it on for maybe 3 minutes, and that's usually enough for me. The longer you leave it, the more bake you're gonna get, and probably the longer your makeup's gonna last and the brighter that area is gonna be. Next, I'm gonna move on to bronzer. So I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. This one is well used, and this one is in the shade Tan to Deep. And I kind of dip into these 3 colors here when I'm contouring, mostly this top one here. So I'm gonna take a medium-sized fluffy brush. This one is the Zoeva 126 brush, and start applying this in all the areas I love to. So I always start with my forehead and the kind of temple area, and then cheekbones. And try keep it higher and up. Don't go too low with this because it kind of gives the opposite effect. You want to keep it high to lift your face. So instead of applying your bronzer and stuff down like this section, you want to kind of concentrate it on your actual cheekbone. So under the cheekbone areas, and then I also bring it underneath my jawbone here to kind of pop my jawbone, get rid of any double chins. And then whatever's left over on my brush, I just run across the bridge of my nose as well. And that's kind of me done for bronzing and contouring. That's usually enough for me. So after I've applied all of my bronzer, I pick up my beauty blender again and use whatever powder is left remaining on it from the lighter powder to kind of clean up that bronzer area like this. Sorry, Hank's growling. What? So I go from the corner of my lips to the top of my ear, and that basically will sharpen the bronzer and add more definition to the face. So because this is a very full coverage makeup look, I definitely want to add some blush just to give some life back into my face. And the blush I'm using is the Nars Orgasm blush. So even if you apply a little bit of it, it does make a big difference. So I just apply it to the apples of my cheeks. Very simple. This one has a really nice sheen to it as well, so it adds a bit of life back to your skin, especially if you use a lot of powders like me and your skin is looking a bit more on the matte side. Then this one is really nice, and I always apply it on my forehead and on my nose as well. Okay, so to finish off the skin, I'm going to use some highlighter, and I'm using the Jouer Rose Gold highlighter. Pretty sure this is my #1. This is just so good. Although it's rose gold, it does pull up really gold on the skin. And I'm using a Morphe M510 brush. So I haven't actually used this one before for highlighter. Okay, whoa, I just applied a lot. It's so good. And then I use my finger to use it on my nose area here, just down the bridge of my nose, and I don't bring it the whole way down. If you bring it the whole way down, it will elongate your nose. If you want to elongate your nose, then do that. If you don't, then just stop it before the tip of your nose. And a little bit on my Cupid's bow area. I don't want to put any more on my face because there's a lot there already. So we're going to move on. So for my brows, what I've been doing recently is just combing through them first with a clear brow gel, and I comb them up when I apply this. Sorry, my doorbell rang twice in literally 3 minutes, so just catching my breath. By the way, this is the Benefit Ready Set Brow brow gel. Okay, so now that the clear brow gel has dried in, I'm going to use my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil in the shade Soft Brown, and I fill in my whole eyebrow with this now, which I never used to do. It can look very extreme if you're heavy-handed with it, so just really light and feathery kind of strokes and build it up bit by bit. I usually start from around here and then do the ends of my brows and then really lightly do the beginning. So I'm not going to speak when I do this because we don't speak when we do our brows, but you obviously can see what I'm going to do. So like I mentioned, this is going to be a night out clubbing makeup look, so I want the eyes to be the main focus. That's just usually what I do. I usually kind of do an intense eye and then a nude lip. So I'm going to use the Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. I only got sent this recently and I haven't actually used it yet. I've just kind of like stuck my fingers in a few of the shades. So I think I'm going to do a black smoky eye. So I probably should have done my eyes first, but we're here now. So before I go in with the shadows, I'm gonna apply a base first. So if you're working with darker colors on the lid, if you use a cream base beforehand, it just makes them apply more evenly and you get more of an intense color payoff as well. So I'm gonna use the Armani, is this Armani? Yeah, so the Armani Eye and Brow Maestro. I don't know what the word is, but it's in 02 Wenchwood. And this is just a cream product that obviously you can use on your brows or your eyes. I'm gonna use it on my eyes. So I'm gonna take a small duo fiber eyeshadow brush like this one here. This is actually the one that you get in the Anastasia eyeshadow palettes. And I'm gonna start applying this just really like messily. It doesn't really matter if you're too neat with this or not, on my lids, but I am going to focus it as close to my lash line as possible, especially because I have blonde lashes. It just, you can really see the gap sometimes if you don't work the product right into the roots. I'm not going to bring it past my crease, so just to my crease and then blend it into my crease really lightly. You'll see what I mean when I'm doing it. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oh god, imagine. This is how I used to wear my makeup, like no word of a lie. Anyway, let's not remember that. So then using that same brush just to kind of blend out the edges so it's not like a blunt, like sharp line of that dark color. And then obviously we're going to do the exact same on the opposite eye. So I am going to move on to the crease and I'm going to pick up this shade here, surprise, surprise. And I'm using a MAC 224 brush. And like I said, I'm just going to pop this into the crease and blend this out quite generously and quite far. And then also applying this underneath my eyes too. Then next I'm gonna pick up this shade here and I'm using a Morphe M433 brush and I'm applying this more directly into the crease. So not blending this up as high as that kind of orangey yellow shade. And then also bringing this under my eyes, using the same brush. And then next I'm gonna take this shade over here with a MAC 217 and apply this again more directly into the crease and not blending it up as the color previous to it. And then using another small eyeshadow brush, this again is the Anastasia brush and the smaller end of it. I'm using that same dark brown color from here. And I'm gonna mix it with a bit of this one and apply that closer to my lower lash line. But I'm not gonna bring this color down too far. So just try concentrate it as close to my lash line as possible. Okay, and then lastly, picking up another one of those Anastasia brushes and taking the smaller end again, I'm gonna dip into the black shade down here and apply this onto my lid. I'm actually gonna mix a bit of this with this dark brown as well. And I kind of use patting motions to apply this because you're going to get less fallout if you're too back and forth with it and too like, if you try to blend it onto the eye too much, you're going to get more fallout and stuff. So just patting it on and then dipping back into the palette every now and then and just building it up bit by bit, because with the black color, you're not going to play any games. Just take it slow. Slightly raccoon, but we're going to continue. So moving on, I'm going to use a black eye pencil and I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Rock and Kohl Iconic Liquid Eye Pencil in Bedroom Black. And I'm using this on my upper waterline. And then also using the black for my lower waterline. Then taking a really, really small eyeshadow brush, I'm gonna take this dark brown shade again, mix with a tiny amount of this one down here, and I'm gonna use this to smudge out from the black eyeliner on my lower waterline. So I'm not dragging it down, I'm literally just smudging it side to side, just to kind of soften the line of it. Next, I'm gonna do an inner corner highlight on my eyes. So I'm gonna use the Jouer Rose Gold highlighter again. And this is a Zoeva 240 brush. And I'm just gonna pop this right in here. So next up, mascara. You can just use whatever mascara you want. This is the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara. Just make sure if you have fair lashes, again, that you're getting the top part of your lashes, so down here. So you don't want to see any of that fair eyelash color against the black. It'll be really noticeable. This is actually really good mascara. It's like my second time using it and so far I like it. Okay, I'm gonna move on to lip liner and do my lips because it kills me right now how they look. And then after that, I'm gonna apply some lashes. So for lip liner, I'm gonna use MAC Oak lip liner and just give it a quick pair. I'm not actually sure if this lip liner suits me. I just feel like on my face, makeup can look very intense very quickly, so let me know what you think. But for my lipstick, I'm gonna use the MAC Honey Love lipstick and basically just apply this in the center of my lips. So for my lashes, I'm gonna apply some baby doll lashes. I've actually used them before, so I'm not sure of the number, but I'll leave the style number down below in the description box along with all of the other products that I mentioned and used today. So I'm going to use the House of Lashes eyelash glue to apply these off camera and then I'll jump back and show you the finished look. Okay, so I just popped those lashes on. This is what they look like, and I also basically showered my face in MAC Fix Plus setting spray, this one here, because we used a lot of powder, a lot of matte products, and my face was actually quite tight. There was that much powder on it, so this was needed. And basically if you use a lot of powder or matte products like I just said, this will kind of bring your skin back to life and make it look more skin-like and less powdery and less cakey. It kind of settles the makeup into your skin. It just looks a lot better. So that being said, this is the finished makeup look. This look really is giving me like MAC Girl 2007, 2008 kind of vibe. Do you guys know what I mean? That kind of like, you know, full on glam. Do you remember when you go into MAC and all the girls would have their makeup like this? Love that. I feel like this isn't as OTT as some other makeup looks. I still think this is wearable and it's not as scary to achieve as you think. You just have to do it step by step and have a lot of time and patience. So that is the end of the get ready with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up because it really does help me out. And if you're not already, then feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. But that is it from me. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.